All right. Welcome back to Big B Sports Talk Podcast. Appreciate it today. Doing the no glasses thing today. I'm having some eye surgery, so I thought, I haven't been able to see forever. Let me start getting used to not wearing glasses. Now, it's a problem because I can't see. So if you're on the roadways, watch out. But that's all right. That's all right. We'll figure it out. I can see big objects. That's all I need. Um, but today, again, a lot of topics. I appreciate all the support. Again, website, www.koolaidsports.com. That's Kool-Aid with the C, Coolaid sports.com. I appreciate it. And shoot anything as far as website stuff or emails, send them to Kool-Aid Sports Network at gmail.com. Again, Kool-Aid with the C, Coolaid Sports Network at gmail.com. Diving in, so I've talked about this previously, and I'm going to talk about it again today. The Lebron Effect. LeBron James. The playoffs are just starting. NBA playoffs, as you know, as a previous podcast, I believe is third among the postseason, but it is spectacular. It is spectacular. I love it. I love it. You got games on that come on every day. Once they start, they're literally on every day until you get to the finals. It is just great, especially right now. All these teams are battling. There's a couple of mismatches this year, but not really. In 2021, this year, there are some mismatches, but there's not a lot. For the most part, it is, it's even. It's even. So the playoffs are going to be great this year. Again, 2021, the playing field in the NBA this year is pretty even, Steven, which is good. Makes for a lot of competitive games, which is what you want. That's all we're asking. Make the games competitive. That's all we want as fans. So, but getting back to LeBron, there is no, how should I put this? There's no middle ground. There is literally no middle ground when it comes to him. It's either you love him or you hate him. There's no, I think he's all right. He's pretty good. Yeah, he's good. There isn't. People just can't get out of their way with it. What it is, and I've looked at it. I ask, I talk to people about it, and they can't get past. This is our childhood hero, Michael Jordan. And he is threatening that. Now, whether you think he's as good a basketball player, that's a different opinion. But that's the point. People can't get past that he is as good as him. And people don't want to believe that. And maybe people they don't believe it. And that's fine. And I think the debate with that is great as far as basketball player. But people take it further than that. They don't like him. And that's the reason why. Like people, I hate LeBron. Well, why do you hate him? I hate LeBron. He's this. He's soft. He's 6'9", 262. He's Karl Malone with Michael Jordan's athletic ability. Tell me again how soft he is. He's a flopper. Yes. I mean, there's no denying it. He is a flopper. He flops. He does that. That doesn't make you soft. That just makes you a flopper. That's part of how the NBA is played today. You see guys they're driving, they throw their head back. I'm like, what? Why do you have to do that? I don't understand because, and again, I'm not an old school type of person. I keep up with the times. I get it. But if I'm trying to drive left and a guy bumps me, I don't need to flail for the ref to see it. If he bumps me, he bumps me. But if I'm trying to get somewhere and I'm going to get there, I don't care if he bumps me. I don't need you to call a foul if he bumped me. Now, if I'm shooting, but you see guys, they throw their legs out and throw their arms out when they get, I'm like, oh my God. And it gets annoying. And that part I get. I get it. But the hatred for him goes beyond that. And we are here to find out why. Now, it could probably be, you could probably trace it back to when he was in high school. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. People, at 17, he's the next one. He's going to be the next great basketball player. Okay, fine. I don't know why you would hate a 17-year-old kid for that, but okay. And he wore the same number as Michael Jordan, but he was in high school, so why should we take him seriously that he's going to be better than Jordan? He was in high school. Well, then he got a Hummer while he was in high school, and his mother bought it. Okay? Here's what I had to say about that. When I was in high school, if somebody were going to gift me a Hummer, I would have taken it. So would you. So I don't know why you hate an 18-year-old that grew up in poverty, why you're mad at him for accepting a Hummer. I mean, whether he got it legal or illegal, whatever. He didn't steal it. So it's not, I guess technically it's not illegal, but against rules or whatever. He broke the rules. He accepted gifts. Okay. I'll say that he did that. Let's just say that he did that. Why do you need to hate him? Again, if somebody offered that to me, I'd have taken it too. It is what it is. And so would you. So move on past that. He's a high school kid, grew up in poverty. Somebody offered him a Hummer, he took it. Move on. Move on. Next thing is he's drafted, obviously he's drafted number 1. He comes into the league, and people are starting to compare him to Jordan, but he's not the same type of player. He's super athletic. He's not a great shooter, but neither was Jordan. And I think that's the comparison, but he passed the ball. Well, it's not that Jordan didn't pass, is that LeBron's game is more of a facilitator versus just I'm going to kill you scoring the basketball with my will. Different. Doesn't mean you can't be as effective. You're just different. And that's where people, they dive in. And I'm not trying to make this all about a comparison to Michael Jordan, but people can't get past it. And I am a Michael Jordan guy. I had that, that picture on the wall. I had that in my bedroom from the time I was a middle schooler. I was, and still am, a Michael Jordan fan. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. But that doesn't mean that people can't eventually be better than somebody else. And I just believe it. I believe that LeBron is a better all-around basketball player than Michael Jordan. You can like it. You can disagree. That's great. We can have those debates. That is what it is. That's my personal opinion. But I don't hate Michael Jordan. I absolutely don't hate Michael Jordan. And that's where social media has kind of taken this thing is that you either love LeBron or you hate him. And now there's a platform to tell everybody that you hate him and to tell him why. Well, what has he done? And I know that people are going to go, well, what about the decision? I don't even think that it was a mistake. People, they kill me with this. Well, why did he have to announce that he was leaving teams? Why did he have to do that? Well, why didn't he? What should he have done? Just left? Again, if you think it was a mistake, fine. Your opinion. I don't think it was a mistake. A television network sure didn't think it was a mistake. People aren't blaming and saying they hate ESPN for putting it on. Why aren't they doing that? And you might hate ESPN for a different reason, but it isn't because of that. And don't even lie to yourself and say that it is. The problem is that he made this mistake. Was he 27 years old? And ended up making $4 million for a boys and girls home. That was his mistake that people call a mistake. Well, what mistake did you make at 27 that made a boys and girls home $4 million? What mistake did you do that was able to give a boys and girls home $4 million. That's the kind of mistake that this man made that you don't know, that you hate him for. We got to be better. We got to be better. There's so much going on in the world today that you literally will despise a man that you don't know, never met, never gonna meet, because he left the team a way that you don't think he should have. Really? Is that what we're doing? We're hating guys because I don't want to play with this team anymore. I would rather go here. Well, Michael Jordan never did that. He never went and left anywhere. Well, he didn't have to. He didn't have to. They built the team for him there. They weren't doing that at Cleveland. First of all, it's hard to build a team in Cleveland because who's going to Cleveland? It's not where I'm going. I can tell you right now, if I have my choices, I'm never going to Cleveland. That's not a destination of mine. And if you are a basketball player, that's probably not going to be you. Miami, Cleveland. Miami, Cleveland. And I'm not going to say anything else. That's all that has to be said. Bottom line is, he left. Players are allowed to leave. That's the way that it is. Oh, you should be loyal. Are any owners loyal to teams or to players? No. They're loyal to their bottom line. A lot of owners don't even care if you win. Cincinnati Bengals would be the perfect example. They don't even care if you win. As long as we're making money, we'll just throw out a product. Don't care. Not even trying. So owners aren't loyal to players. So why do players in turn have to be loyal to owners? I mean, we're both men. We both have, at this point, LeBron is a corporation. So should he be loyal to Cleveland or should he be loyal to his corporation? There you go. And if you say Cleveland, you're lying to yourself. You are just lying to say that because you hate LeBron James. If you don't think that he's that good of a basketball player, you can make that argument. I personally believe, I don't think he's the best basketball player ever. As I mentioned in the very first podcast, Kareem is the best. And you're not going to be able to change my mind about that. But LeBron is past Michael Jordan. He is. He's better than him at this point. He's better. And that's my opinion. You can say that he's not. I also believe that two things can be true. Michael Jordan can be great, and so can LeBron. I think that's where people, and I know I've mentioned this many, many times before, people get bent out of shape because if you like somebody, it doesn't mean that the other person has to be garbage. He's terrible. I know people that say that all the time. He's terrible. Well, he's not terrible. He may not be as good as somebody else, but that doesn't make him terrible. That just means somebody's better, and that's okay. It is okay. But the hatred, anything that he does, the man is so polarizing. Anything that he does, people just get so bent out of shape. If he cut his fingernail a different way and people didn't like it, there'd be a million people talking about how terrible of a person that he is. I just don't understand the hatred. Now, a different side of it is where he differs from a lot of other athletes previous is that he speaks out on social issues. So you're going to have half the people that don't like him because he speaks out and has an opinion on how he feels one way on social issues. But my thing is he right or is he wrong? And I'll be the first to admit, when he put up that picture of that policeman and said, "You're next," that was wrong. It was absolutely wrong. Because that situation was totally different. I'm not saying it was justified. I'm never going to say that. But it was a different situation. Totally different. And it's not his job to be the judge and jury. That's not his job. He can have an opinion, but it's not his job to be the judge and jury. If you're asking cops not to do that, then you have to follow the same lines and don't be judge and jury. And he did that. He did that. Got to hold yourself accountable. If you want other people to be accountable, then it has to start with you. So I'll admit, that was wrong. Dead flat out wrong. But other things that he's spoken about are not wrong. And they're right. And that's the thing. People want to say it's politics. It's not politics. It's right and wrong. And again, you know me. I've said it many times on the podcast. I'm a firm believer in fair and not fair, right and wrong. And when he speaks out, he's speaking on the right side. I do believe that this one mistake literally gives the fuel for people to say, see what I mean? He's wrong. And that's part of the problem. He can't make those kinds of mistakes or people will totally dismiss it. It's just like the lady that said, shut up and dribble. Really? Why does he have to shut up and dribble? He can't have an opinion? So we can't have opinions in this country. We can't talk. I have to do my job and that's it. Nothing. I have to leave it to people like you to have opinions. How is your opinion more valid than mine? And exactly. That's the whole point. And people, they won't get past the hatred to actually listen to what he's saying. It's LeBron. I hate him. I don't care what he says. I hate him. And that's basically where the country has gone. I don't like him. Don't care what he says. It's wrong. I hate him. Dismiss whatever he's saying. That part is absolutely wrong because LeBron James is for what we know. For what we know. Now, there could be things behind the scenes that aren't public, but for what we know as a public, he's a great human being. A great human being. Again, things may come out, whatever, and if he's not a great human being, it is what it is, and I'll change my opinion on that. But for what we know, he is. The man started, the people that don't like him, and I'm talking about in the social media, social justice, political view, they never mentioned about him starting a school. I'm not saying he's the only athlete to ever start a school, but they never mentioned that he started a school to help children. Well, that's the least that they can do. Well, did you start a school? What did you do? Why do we always have to bash somebody else and what they do because you don't like, well, he could have done that. I mean, why do we always count somebody else's money? Who cares if the guy's got $500 million or $1 billion, whatever he has? Who cares if he has that and he spent a fraction of that to do something? He spent it. He didn't have to do anything. And that's where people get bent out of shape, is that they literally can't get past. It's a jealousy thing. And I know people, I'm not jealous. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. It's a jealousy thing because you hate what he's doing. You don't like him either as a basketball player or a person, which I don't know why you wouldn't like him as a person because he hasn't done anything for you not to like him as a person. And we don't like him, so then you start bad-mouthing now his deeds, what he's doing. It's incredible. It's like, who else do we do that to? Who do we badmouth that spends $50 million to help children? And the first word that somebody says about him is, oh, he got $50 million in his back pocket. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, the one thing that it is, and I can go down this race road if I choose to, I'm just not going to go down that road because I know people that dislike LeBron, white people, and racism isn't even in the vocabulary, being a racist. Isn't even in their vocabulary. So I'm not going to go. Now, for some people, that is absolutely the truth. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. That is absolutely the truth. But for most of the people that I know, that is not the case. That's not the case. But that is part of it. Don't get me wrong. That's part of it. And it just is. It just is. That's where we live. It's the world that we're in. So people are not going to like him because he is black. Period. So you got to deal with that. But getting back to the basketball aspect of it, it's just crazy that people just get so mad. Because I've heard people say, well, I mean, he's not Jordan. Well, it doesn't have to be Jordan. He can be better than Jordan. Well, he's not. Well, he doesn't have to be that. Like, he's not Larry Bird. First of all, Larry Bird, near and dear to my heart. Larry Bird is that dude. I'm from Indiana. He's from Indiana. He's that dude for me, too. So I get it. But he can't shoot. He can't do this. He can't. But look at all the things that he can do. And it's just the tearing down, or how he tried to tear down people. Well, his offensive game is limited. He averages 28 points a game for his career. So he's limited offensively, but he still somehow can just luck up and throw in 28 points off of that. Okay. He doesn't have the killer instinct. And I admit, that's part of the thing that drives me insane sometimes about him too. Too passive when moments where you need to be the aggressor. And over the last few years, he's done a better job of that. Some people, well, he passes in big situations. Well, he makes the right play. You can't always just force a shot up when there's three people hanging on you. I mean, in the finals last year, I remember Game 5, he's driving to the basket. There's three people there. And he passed to a guy. There wasn't somebody within 15 feet of him that is a shooter and has made shots, big shots, in NBA finals. It's not like he threw it to the ninth guy on the bench that played 3 minutes a game. I mean, if you can't pass it to one of the best shooters in clutch situations that has proven himself, and if you can't do that when he's wide open, then what can you do? Because if he forces the shot up and misses, he's selfish. That's the very first thing. Oh, he's not clutch. I missed it. But I remember Jordan passing the ball to Steve Kerr when he got double teamed and actually told him, hey, you know, they're going to double team me. Be ready. And lo and behold, I mean, it's just, and he passed it to him and the guy made the shot. And if Danny Green does make the shot, LeBron didn't want it. He didn't want it. Like, man, he can't win. He just can't win. Again, and I just don't know why two things just can't be true for people. Is people get so mad if you say that he's better than Jordan or you compare him to Jordan. And Jordan can be the best in your mind. That doesn't mean that somebody else isn't just as good. And again, Kareem is better than all of them. Better than all of them. But social media has done such a job to where everybody's opinion is out there. And if I have an opinion and I throw it out there, somebody else may like it, and then they have an opinion, and then they have an opinion, and then the snowball effect, and then people just hate him. But there is literally no middle ground with this man. There is no middle ground. I mean, just think about it. Have you ever said, yeah, LeBron's good. He's all right. I like him. You don't hear people say that. Oh, LeBron is the best, or I hate him. And it's weird. I mean, and he lives in people's heads. I mean, I get on social media, and there are people that will bring him up in a conversation talking about football. Oh, yeah, I mean, I know Alabama's playing Florida, but, man, LeBron, boy, it's a good thing he don't play football. He would show. I'm like, well, how is he relevant? Just anything to bash him, anything. They will bring him up in any conversation. I'm like, this man that you don't know and you're never going to meet lives in your head. Why? For instance, there are people that I dislike. I don't say I hate anybody because hate's a strong word. So I hate University of Kentucky and I hate University of Kansas. Those are two things that I hate, okay? I can admit that. Hate, hate, hate. Don't want to see anybody get hurt. Don't get me wrong. But I hate them. Two things. I don't think about either one of them ever unless they're losing a game or my team happens to be playing them. Other than that, I don't have thoughts about them. Just, if I'm watching a game, I don't, oh man, boy, Kentucky, they really do suck. No. That doesn't pop into my head. It just doesn't. And I don't know why people, they can't get him out of your mind. People, just relax. He's a man. That's all he is. He's a man. Extremely polarizing. He's popular. But what he does on a daily basis is not going to affect your life unless he's giving you money or taking it away from you. Giving you a job or taking it away from you. He's just not doing those kinds of things. Like him or dislike him, that's fine, but you don't have to hate the guy and just for no reason. And then people, they just manufacture these reasons. Well, and then he's not as good as somebody else. Okay, that's fine. But if the conversation doesn't belong to him, for instance, you get on social media, you get these people that are talking about something, then, LeBron's not playing in this game. What's he got to do with it? Well, he's going to destroy him. Or the one that gets me is you don't win. It's on this side, it's LeBron can take anybody to the finals, which I don't necessarily believe to be true. Because you got to have some decent team. Nobody's winning a basketball game with just trash. Now, you can get to a certain extent when you're so great that you can bring up other players. You can do that. In 2011, Dirk did that. I mean, they had a good team. They had some good players. But Dirk was so great that he was able to elevate those other guys. That's the sign of a true superstar. LeBron has done the same thing. Now, when he was in Cleveland, they went to that first finals. I mean, if you can name somebody else that was even any good on their team, I'll allow you to do that. Big Z was okay, and who else? And yet they went to the finals. And they had beaten a team that it was the Pistons. Now, not that the Pistons had any great players, because they didn't. They had some good players, several good players. They didn't have any superstars on their team. But they were a good basketball team. And they beat them and went to the finals. But they had no business being there because it was the Cavs weren't a good team. I mean, they were okay, but they weren't good. In the later years when he went, after Kyrie left, Kevin Love was already finished by then. Again, the East was terrible. Not bad. The East wasn't bad. It was horrendous. But he got them to the final. They had no business being there either. No business being there. But I guess nobody else was going to be there because, again, the East was terrible. But he was able to get there. But that's the argument that people do. It's either you carry a team to the final, he's carrying them to the finals, he's so great, or he can't do it by himself. He never does it by himself. And my thing is, can't both be true? It's always this either or with people. I want people to say, you know what? This can be true, and this can be true too. That is okay. There doesn't always have to be definites in opinions and absolutes with opinions, especially basketball opinions. I mean, there's never going to be an absolute because you're never going to know. So, two things can be true. Two things can be true. But the hatred for LeBron James or the love and saying that he can do no wrong, it's just the LeBron effect. The LeBron effect. It's even more than Michael Jordan, because at the time, Michael Jordan was literally the greatest. I mean, he was the most popular person in the world. I mean, think about it. Like in 1990, it was Michael Jordan. In 92, let's say 92, it was Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, and Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, I believe, was on top of all of them. Having said that, no social media. Because if there's social media, people don't like Michael Jordan the way they do today. Because Michael Jordan was a bad person. I mean, he was a bad person. Constantly cheating on his wife. And that's not my opinion. That's fact. He was just a bad guy. If LeBron was out doing what Michael Jordan was doing right now, literally right now, if he was doing those same things out in public, doing that kind of stuff, crucified is the best word that I can come up with. Crucified. Absolutely. But you can't say any of those things about it. And again, he may be doing it, and we just don't know and never going to hear about it. So I'm not here to say that can't be the case. We just don't know. People knew that Michael Jordan was doing it. He wasn't even hiding it. It's just nobody talked about it. And there were no platforms for people to talk about it. There are those kind of platforms now. Just think about that. Just think about it. Again, LeBron is just a polarizing individual. I happen to think he's a great basketball player. I happen to think he's a great human being. And I don't think there's a problem with saying that. And I also don't think that the problem with saying that he's better than anybody else outside of Kareem. I don't think there's a problem with saying that. And whether people like it or they don't like it, that's fine. But for people to just hate the guy, I hate LeBron because he flops on the basketball court. I hate LeBron because he's not Michael Jordan. I hate LeBron because he left Cleveland and didn't tell the owner before he left. I mean, did you take another job? Did you tell your boss before you took another job? I mean, did you do that? Just think about it. And again, I'm a person that never compares regular jobs to these sports jobs because they're not the same. But you're literally mad at the man for not telling his boss that he was going to leave before he left. I mean, when you took your job, another job, or any job, did you tell the previous employer before you took the job, hey, I'm quitting, I'm taking another job? No, you did not. So stop it. Be better. If you don't think he's a good basketball player, then don't think he's a good basketball player. But to bring all these other things into it, to manufacture reasons to dislike him is ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Been a good show. I appreciate you guys. Again, come to the website, check us out, send me the emails. I appreciate all the support. You guys have been great. Keep popping them out here for you as long as you keep listening. Thank you. Bye-bye.